Hello, I'm Nakaterehema Sesimba. I am a programs officer at Open Space Center, a youth-focused organization here in Uganda. And our story and our journey on the Sustainable Development Goals in our country has taken on several fronts, and especially 3 chapters. The first chapter started in 2019, where we had engagements in like 10 schools in districts of Kampala, Wakiso and Mukono. So our focus for the Sustainable Development Goals has been empowering that young person in an underserved community or in an underserved school that are normally marked with features such as dilapidated structures, inadequate menstrual health management, prevalent health issues, and so many other things. And our goal was to teach them about the Sustainable Development Goals so that they can take action towards addressing the problems within their communities. So under the SDGs in Reality project, we had so many engagements with teachers, with the school administrators, with the students themselves, trying to teach them, trying to help them understand the concept of what the Sustainable Development Goals are.
Right now, the session that we're having is the SDGs. Those are the Sustainable Development Goals, and we have discussed lots of them. Specifically, there are 17, but then I've preferred these 2, which is water and sanitation. So what is water and sanitation? So this, due to water and sanitation, we are likely to live healthy. Water and sanitation, you realize that it's a basis for each and everything. The healthy education you need, the healthy life you want to live, it's all because of water. And then they're asking how we can apply such an SDG in our school. And one way is sensitization. That is sensitizing our fellow students on how to manage water. What is the benefit of water? How can you have clean water? Yes, and one of the things that we spoke out, that we said, that was to sensitize others on how to maintain cleanliness, sanitation itself, don't keep the compound dirty, etc. So another one was peace, justice, and development. Yes, what is peace, justice, and development? Because of peace, you have to acquire quality education. You have to acquire good health. Those are also among the SDGs that we are talking about. So, because of peace and justice, once you have peace, then basically you will have a healthy mind.
Me as the academic prefect, as the goals and development, the sustainable development we used to do in this world, we need quality education, because without quality education, there is nothing you can change without knowing knowledge on how things are to be done, in which we as the leaders, we are the people of tomorrow to change the world we want, like in 2030.
So some of our activities included the use of debates, because as an organization we have discovered that debate is one of the unique strategies in which we can help young people appreciate what the Sustainable Development Goals are. They have an opportunity to research, they have an opportunity to think about what each SDG means and why it's important to their school and to their community. So we've had competitions between these schools where the teachers are as well present, and they are able to create an environment where the students can be able to appreciate what the Sustainable Development Goals are.
Well, actually, we would love to send our sincere appreciation to the Open Space group. We thank you so much for coming to us. When we look at the Sustainable Development Goals, they're actually goals that are going to help our society. We're actually very happy. We're actually very proud. We work in society knowing, yes, we were able to be consulted. You people have come to us. You're asking us about the solutions, about the problems we are facing, and what shall we do about it. You're able to get our ideas about different things. By the time we shall grow up, we are very sure that ignorance would have decreased amongst the people, because we, the youth, are the first people in implementing any policy in this world. Thank you so much that you're helping us realize what we have to do in life, living along what the parents tell us, living along what you grow up knowing, yes, I know I have to plant a tree. You people come furthermore and know, if we want to plant trees, what can we do better? If we want to maybe protect our land. What are we going to do? Are we going to depend so much on economy and leave out environment? We know how to balance the two. So we actually thank you so much for bringing these debates. We thank you so much for helping us. We thank you so much that you're giving us a chance to learn from each other, because as we are debating, it is not all about the winning team or the losing team. It is all about what you learn from the debate. What can you do after the debate, and which one of the policies will you be able to implement?
I've come here for a debate, and we have been very many schools, but we have not won, but I've gained more skills. Like I've learned very many skills from the schools I've been competing with. I've learned how to express myself. I've learned more of the copper system. Actually, it's more than winning here. It's more of, okay, it's not more of winning here. It's more of learning. We came here with little skills, but according to the skills I've been versing to, we have achieved more. And I think this program that's being arranged, I think it's more beneficial than just the schools coming up to win the trophy.
Sustainable Development Goals. Well, we came from the Millennium Development Goals and now to Sustainable Development Goals. I believe that as the young people out there, we do have a role to play. Our future environment deserves to be protected. Likewise does the economy, but I think we need to really prioritize the environment, because provided we have a good environment, we can really thrive our economy as well.
Still under the SDGs in Reality project, we gave the students and young people an opportunity to showcase their learnings about the Sustainable Development Goals by taking action and trying to address some of the problems within their communities. So during these action days, across all the different schools, we had young people planting trees in their communities as part of their contribution towards the environment and towards climate change. We also had an activity where we had school giveaways. We donated books to one of our project schools in an effort to try and improve on their quality of education, having young people exposed to different resources, different information that is beneficial to their school community, but also information that can be used to create a more favorable learning environment for them. We had a community cleanup in one of the health facilities in one of our project districts, and during this activity young people took part in cleaning up their environment, cleaning up their health facility, because this is a place where many people within the community go to access health services. So we thought it wise that young people would lead by example and show the importance of living in a community or in a facility that is hygienic and that represents the idea of what good health stands for.
My name is Ram Abubakar Muhammad Haji, and today we've had our first community engagement program in partnership with Uganda Footballers Association and Uganda Football Coaches Association, because most times we work in a community of footballers who are very neglected in terms of knowledge when it comes to like for example the project or the program we've been on today about the Sustainable Development Goals. So creating awareness among the footballers on SDGs was the center of the conversation today, and most especially we're talking about SDG number 8, which is centers around decent work. One of the biggest challenges sportsmen in Uganda face, and it's become very, very critical for us to address it through projects like this.
And today we are in our action days, and we have received some visitors from Open Space, and they have talked about the SDGs, those are Sustainable Development Goals, and our goal was goal number 4, that is quality education. We have received some textbooks due to that goal that we have performed, and those books, they are going to make us to start up a library so that we can come up with that goal, quality education.
Quality education, contributing to goal number 4 of the SDGs, which is quality education, using a mobile library at which school?
We've been producing liquid soap, and that's detergent making. Yeah, this is in line with SDG number 8, decent work. creating employment opportunities. This helps it creates employment opportunities for the people around. It also protects the environment because, first of all, the items that we use, they have less effect on the environment. Basically, the equipment used, the home used materials, for example, the buckets, that is easy to get and very cheap for everyone to afford because these are the things we use in our homes.
Open Space has provided us with trees, and as Chinawa, our goal is to promote rule number 13, which is climate action. I want to thank Open Space for giving us an opportunity to plant enough trees and also conserve our environment.
I've learned not to just laugh for the but help them. From today onward, I'm going to be helping a girl child who is in her menstruation period.
My name is Namgade Shahida from Amit Secondary School. Today we have had a lecture about the SDGs, which are Sustainable Development Goals. Today, we as Amit, we are doing a project about Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which is good health and well-being, combining it with Sustainable Development Goal number 2, which is zero hunger. We are going to visit the hospital, which is Passion Clinic Hospital here at Uganda, and clean the hospital because we believe that good health and well-being is both through good sanitation and clean sanitation everywhere that we live. We are going to offer some things that we have, for example, the fruits that we got through, and donate them to those kids that are in that hospital.
But in addition to that, some of our activities have been more fun because we try to use a fun in learning approach where we have adopted the use of a local popular game for young people known as Ludo. Ludo is a board game that is very entertaining that also helps young people to appreciate what the Sustainable Development Goals are. So in this game, young people get the chance to roll a dice and pick questions on Sustainable Development Goals that they think they are most interested in or goals that they can ask questions about. So still in this project, we decided not to let the young person get all this information on their own. So we created a pool of mentors where we conducted mentorship sessions within the schools and the communities so that young people can be nurtured to understand what these SDGs are just for their country, but also on a broader perspective to be able to relate more with their community issues and even at a national level. We also had our very first national platforms on the SDGs where young people would come on board and interact with policymakers and different stakeholders through a national SDG symposium. And this symposium has been a great platform for opening the minds and the eyes of different people within the country to know that young people can also be used as a force to leverage action towards implementation and localizing the SDGs within the country. So this was our very, very first step towards pushing the Sustainable Development Goals within schools in Uganda, because we believe that young people are the future and they are a key element in not leaving anyone behind. Our second chapter is the Localizing SDGs project. We started this project shortly after the COVID-19 pandemic, where so many of our societies and our communities were gravely shaken by this pandemic. We had several challenges ranging from health issues, sanitation issues, education issues, and all these were affecting young people mainly because they are the greater proportion of our population. So when we kicked off this Localizing SDGs project, we established a pool of young people who we called our community task forces. These community task forces, their role was to enable other young people at grassroots level, whether in a market, whether in a bar, whether in a school, to understand the concept of the Sustainable Development Goals and how they can be able to understand and take action towards achieving development within their communities. So what these young leaders have done in their task forces is they have been able to translate these Sustainable Development Goals into their local languages so that every young person who cannot speak English is able to understand them at their own level.
The major role as to why we're here is
how best can we be able to localize the different SDGs in our communities, the social developmental goals, sustainable development goals in our communities. And when we talk about these ones, we are talking about how best can we be able to eliminate the poverty in our communities. How best is the hunger going to be eliminated from the communities and the country and Africa at large. So as our community, in our different communities we come in, we see that there are different resources we can be able to utilize, despite without calling upon government to help us. But we as people in our communities, we can be the pioneers of change. We can be the pioneers of leadership, calling upon our different members in our communities, sensitizing them of how best poverty is going to be eliminated in our communities. When we talk about good health, it is our role, it is everyone's role to ensure that what do I take in? What is my way of life? How do I live my life? How do I associate with the environment around me? All these things, when we tackle these things, when we go in our communities and sensitize people, we talk about them. What is my role in solving this in fulfilling this particular SDG in my community? It is really going to be of good help to us. We are supposed to use the available resources in our communities. To me, it has really challenged me a lot. And starting from today, I have realized it is my role. It starts with me. And from me, it can spread to the rest of the people around me. It has been such a great opportunity. My great regards goes to Open Space Uganda for such a great opportunity, for opening up our minds, for enlightening our minds for this wonderful time we have spent here. We believe as leaders it is not going to stop here, but everywhere we go, we are going to ensure that these particular SDGs have been implemented in our different communities.
I have been at a training workshop about sustainable development goals. I would like to thank Open Space for offering us this opportunity as leaders to get to know more about these goals. These are the global goals which are established by the United Nations, and at which, if we are to achieve them and accomplish them, the world will be a better place to live in. Basically, as a leader, I have learned a lot, which I didn't know in the past. I had a slight idea of what SDGs were, but after this training, I'm totally enlightened about the sustainable goals. And my main concern as a leader is how am I going to localize these goals into our communities. My role will be to ensure that the masses get to know what these goals are.
So this project has been very engaging because it has helped us to have platforms or spaces in the communities where young people can come and speak about issues that are most pertinent to them. And students have been able to share their thoughts, to share their views, their different perspectives on the sustainable development goals at a national level.
I was also privileged to be invited by Open Space Center to be part of a panel discussion that was addressing youth inclusivity and good governance. I feel like from the panel, I got to learn so many things from the fellow panelists and also from the audience, the questions that they asked. It brought more insights on how we can actively engage young people in such kinds of spaces. And I also love the idea that UDN actually looks out for relevant partners and relevant themes that can be able to create great leaders that can, contribute towards the sustainable development of our country and also be able to stay competent and relevant in the global sector.
So part of these action days also gives young people and their leaders the opportunity to set out and have projects that they implement within their communities to be able to change the lives of the people living in those communities. For example, we had a project which was dealing specifically on waste management issues. One of our youth leaders thought of the idea of having recyclable plastic bags which would be distributed to a local community in a police barracks in Old Kampala, and because of that We see that the community is now taking more hygienic practices. They're more intentional about garbage collection and sorting. So these are some of our very nice success stories when it comes to localizing the SDGs in our country.
Toa Uchafu na Nusu is a campaign by us, the youth, to localize the SDGs and help the people keep their areas clean as they earn some little money. Today we are here in Zone 1, Old Kampala Parish, Kampala Central Division, and we're at the barracks, the police barracks. We're teaching the people how to keep their areas clean by having good solid waste disposal management habits. These include sorting their garbage. We're also telling them that when they sort their garbage, they can actually get some little money, because now garbage, which used to be garbage, now there are some items that they're buying for the recycling club. The plastics are going for 600 shillings. The papers are going for 400 shillings. The buveras are going for 300 shillings. So if the people can sort that garbage and give the garbage collectors what they can, and the ones they stay with sell it off on the open market, they can get some space, they can get some money. That money can be used by the community or by the individuals. And that helps also the place to stay clean. As you can see, this place is a clean place.
I'm here with a team of people of Toa Uchafu na Nusu. Toa Uchafu na Nusu brought a project in our community about empowering and sensitizing the community in solid waste management. They come in, give us the gadgets, the bags to collect solid waste, and it has helped the community in very many ways. That is in proper garbage disposal, and also making the environment looking neat. Not only collecting garbage, but also teaching them how you can turn this garbage into business. Before we used to think that rubbish is a burden, but now they're bringing a version where rubbish can be recycled and it can bring some little income to the community. We have so many people who live in the community and they don't have what to do. But when you empower them to start from the very, very small things that they are around them, one can make a living.
But also we realize that under this project, through the youth parliaments, young people have been able to voice their issues in regard to the SDGs, because previously we visioned or we thought that the SDGs were a concept that is only for the elite or people in the government, in technical spaces, but we've brought this idea as open space. We're bringing it closer to the young people in their communities, right from a secondary school level, so that they can be able to make a contribution to the development of their country by understanding what the sustainable development goals are.
I'm here today because of the open space. We are so grateful. I myself am very grateful for this opportunity provided for me by Open Spaces. I'm very happy to be here because what stood out for me today was about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals today. The most important, there are 17 of them, but the most important that stood out today and what I am going to do about it is one, the climatic action and clean water and sanitation. As a youth, I come from Machinga division, that's my division, and the major important issues, there are so many, but what are people not looking at is the environment. There's a lot of environmental degradation in Machinga division. People are cutting out trees, bush burning is taking place, sanitation, people are littering garbage everywhere. People are not minding about their environment, about their sanitation, where they stay. So with the Sustainable Development Goals about the clean water and sanitation, it is a very important thing and a very important issue to tackle about. But we are going to continue to sensitize the people in our communities, where I come from, to ensure that our people have knowledge, have basic knowledge about environment, loving the environment, protecting it, to ensure that even young children, by the age of the toddler, the ongoing age children for school, they learn how to keep the environment clean in order to have a safe and clean environment. It is everyone's responsibility to have a safe and clean environment. So using this opportunity as open spaces, I will spearhead this activity together with my youth to make sure we teach our people in communities. We go to schools because we do community schools cleanups and all that. So we are going to work hard with them to see that we have a safe, a clean and healthy environment.
And then finally, our last and most exciting chapter of the Sustainable Development Goals has been the Nile Explorer Bus project. And this project was designed to serve as a mobile programming platform where young people in districts across all regions in Uganda are able to enjoy quality health, enjoy quality education, because our main focus has been on SDG 4, which is on quality education, SDG 3, SDG 5 on gender equality, but also we touch key issues such as sanitation. We give them practical skills on how to make liquid soap, how to make reusable sanitary towels, because we're trying to bring that concept of what the SDGs are into perspective so that they can be able to see what it means to live in a transformed community where the overall idea is to have no poverty, because young people now have the skills to make the materials that they need to lead healthier lives. So this project has moved in 12 districts across Uganda, and we've engaged over 12 teachers in these schools and over 360 students to understand what the Sustainable Development Goals are, having boys and girls in the same space talking about gender equality and the issues that are affecting their health. But not only that, we teach them how to live healthy by sleeping under treated mosquito nets to prevent malaria, and we teach them about technology, because one of the Sustainable Development Goals has a focus on innovation and industry, which is the future of our world. That's where we're going. So our idea of the SDGs is not just to influence policy, but also to empower young people to take actions within their communities and to be a force that can contribute to the change that they themselves want to see. So as an organization, we've been proud of our story, and we hope to have more young people take part and share this vision with us.
My name is Saukul Shams. I'm from Senior 1. My school is Bogo Progressive School in Mukono district. Okay, as you have said, I practiced in the Nile Explorer. I learned so many things in STEM, health and life skills. In STEM, first of all, I learned how to launch a rocket. I learned the computer, and I learned how to build a tower. In health, basically, they taught us about HIV/AIDS. I learned how to fight HIV/AIDS and to abstain from sex. In life skills, we learned about being confident, being audible enough, and talking in public spaces. My favorite session was STEM, learning STEM, because they gave us time to practice computers, to type everything, and they helped us to learn how to launch a rocket. Some of us, we never knew how to launch a rocket, even how a rocket looks like, and the law that states that action and motion are the same but opposite.
As an organization, Open Space Center, we could not do this alone, so we really want to thank and appreciate our partners and our supporters, Crossing Borders and CISU in Denmark, because they have been an instrumental force in giving us the support we need in doing all this work and all these engagements with young people since way back. So we remain committed to teaching more young people about the role that the SDGs plays in their lives and how they can be better citizens within their schools and communities at large.